Top 7 musicians who sold their soul to devil. Learning to play a musical instrument takes hard work, practice, and patience. And that can be such a drag. The devil is believed to be very fond of music, which is not surprising. After all, he does have all the best tunes. Lucifer is said to have a special affinity to stringed instruments, particularly violins and guitars. In exchange for just one soul, any condition, the Prince of Darkness can teach you how to really play that guitar. He can make you a star. You might think that no one would take him up on this offer, but we have found the 7 musicians who, allegedly, thought that this was a great deal. Welcome to Top in Town YouTube channel. Today we are going to know about the top 7 musicians who sold their soul to devil. So let's get started.
Panda. I got broads in Atlanta. Just to throw me in the family. Credit cards and the scammers. Getting the licks in the band. Legacies.
Number 1. Jimmy Page. Legendary guitarist Jimmy Page was a student of occultism for a while. He bought Aleister Crowley's old home, which he believed was haunted. He often talked about the strange experiences he had there. He followed Crowley's occultist teachings about focusing your intentions on what you want to get out of life. Apparently Jimmy just wanted to play a mean guitar, and he certainly got that wish. Lots of people claimed that he had sold his soul to the devil to get such fast fingers, to which Page replied that if had, then so had the rest of the band. Which is not exactly a denial. This may be the origin of the myth that if you play Stairway to Heaven backwards, you can hear demonic voices speaking. Number 2. Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson's is probably the most famous soul in the devil's collection. Sometime during the 1930s he said to have met the devil, allegedly at the Clarksdale Crossroads. He was said to have been a decent harmonica player, but a terrible guitarist. Then he disappeared for a few weeks. He is supposed to have taken his guitar to the crossroads in Mississippi, where the devil retuned his guitar and gave him a few lessons. When he returned, his terrible guitar technique was now described as formidable and masterful. When Robert Johnson died in 1938, at the age of 27, the rumor became a fact, and Johnson is now known officially as the Devil's Bluesman. Number 3. Giuseppe Tartini. Giuseppe Tartini is said not only to have sold his soul to the devil, but also to have composed a song with him. Trillo del Diavolo, or the Devil's Trell, came to Tartini in a dream. The music came to him, he said, after his dream self had also sold his soul. He failed to check the small print on the deal, however, because the music he wrote down when he awoke was not as complex as the devil's tune. Perhaps that's just as well, however, as the Devil's Trill is said to be one of the most technically demanding pieces for violin ever written. Although he was a very accomplished musician, he soon discovered that he was not really good enough to play his own tune, and so he had traded his soul for a tune he could not play. Number 4. Rolling Stones. In 1968, the Rolling Stones released a new album that confirmed every parent's darkest suspicions. Rock and roll was indeed the devil's music. The opening song of Beggar's Banquet was, of course, Sympathy for the Devil. Keith Richards told Rolling Stone magazine that some people saw them as acting as unknown agents of Lucifer, while others think we are Lucifer. Either way, they were trouble. Some of their fans, however, really bought into the Satanic Majesty's Thing, the title of their previous album. In particular, the Hells Angels lapped it up. If it was possible for an illegal biker gang to have an official anthem, Sympathy for the Devil was it. They provided security for the Stones at Altamont Free Music Festival. Trouble erupted during that song, and a short time later a teenage boy was stabbed to death. Although the song was not directly linked with the stabbing, the Stones didn't play the song Live Again for a long time. The Stones have been dogged by rumors of devil worshipping ever since, possibly because of secret messages embedded in their music, or possibly because of the large horned devil's head tattooed on Mick's chest. Number 5. Niccolo Paganini. Niccolo Paganini was both a violinist and a guitarist, so he didn't stand a chance. He began learning the violin at the age of 7, and is considered by many to be the greatest violin virtuoso of all time. He was so much better than his peers that a rumor circulated and persisted that he must have sold his soul in exchange for his virtuosity. It could have been that, of course, or it could have been the hours of practice and his extremely long fingers which allowed him to play 3 octaves across 4 strings, which was unheard of. His hand span was probably due to Marfan syndrome, which typically leads to sufferers being exceedingly tall with long limbs. He was a great womanizer and was said to trap the souls of young women inside his violin, although quite how he did it, no one ever explained. One concert goer in Vienna even claimed to have seen the devil guiding Paganini's arm, which probably made for interesting conversation during the interval. Number 6. Snoop Dogg. Usually these devil soul transactions are shrouded in secrecy. Occasionally, however, a performer comes along who is happy to talk about it, or even sing about it. Snoop Dogg admits that at the time he was in a dark place when he heard a voice say, "Bring your lifestyle to me, I'll make it better." Mr. Dogg asked how long he would live and the voice cried back, "Eternal and forever." Sounds like a good deal. There is some evidence that the artist at first believed that he was making a pact with God but was tricked by the devil. Or perhaps it's just a song. You decide. Number 7. Bob Dylan. In 2016, Bob Dylan was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. It was pretty much a surprise to everyone. Except, perhaps, Bob. He explained in an interview, "It's a destiny thing. I made a devil's bargain and I'm holding up my end." Well, that seems pretty conclusive. It shouldn't have come as a surprise though. Bob Dylan apparently died on July 25, 1965. Coincidentally, that was the same day that he walked on stage at the Newport Folk Festival stage with an electric guitar. An electric guitar. At a folk festival. To make it worse, he was accompanied by a rock band and they launched into a decidedly unfolky rendition of his new song, "Like a Rolling Stone." Didn't go down well. So it will come as no surprise to any of the tambourine-shaking, harmonica-blowing folk fans that Dylan had signed an unholy pact. So these are the top 7 musicians who sold their soul to devil. Like the video if you found it interesting. Subscribe Top in Town YouTube channel for amazing facts, technology and for best content.